Jessie said. Benny leaned over her shoulder and looked at the picture.
I know that building.
He stooped to look at the caption underneath.
Does that say it's 102 stories high?
Yes, Benny. You read that by yourself,
Jessie said. Benny beamed proudly. He was just learning to read. Violet was reading about the Statue of Liberty.
We have to take a ferry to get to it. I'll like that,
she said.
There's a whole room just of armor at the Metropolitan Museum,
Henry said excitedly.
There's so much to do,
Violet said.
And don't forget, we have to eat, too,
Benny added. Jessie laughed.
I'm sure there are plenty of restaurants in New York.
The Aldens stayed in the boxcar for a long time, eating their snack and going through the books. Every few minutes, one of them would cry out the name of another thing they wanted to see or do. At dinner that night, as the Aldens were finishing the delicious chicken Mrs. McGregor had made, Mr. Alden said, I have some work to do in my office tomorrow morning. If we leave Greenfield in the afternoon, we'll get to New York in time to settle in our rooms and have dinner.
How long will it take to drive there?
Jessie asked. About 4 hours, Grandfather said. Now the weather is very cool, so pack warm things. We'll probably go to the theater one night, so you'll want something dressier than jeans for that.
I'm going to start packing right now,
Jessie said.
Me too,
Violet agreed. By the time Grandfather was ready to go the next day, the children had been packed and waiting for hours. They started off, waving to Mrs. McGregor, who stood in the driveway with Watch.
Take care of him,
Benny cried out. Don't you worry, Mrs. McGregor replied. We'll do fine. As Grandfather drove, the Aldens played a variety of games to pass the time. They counted how many blue cars they saw, then red ones. They watched for out-of-state license plates. They played word games. Finally, Mr. Alden said, We're on the Henry Hudson Parkway, and that's the Hudson River on our right. New Jersey's on the other side of the river.
Is that the river Henry Hudson sailed on?
Jessie asked. Same one, Grandfather said. Soon you'll see the George Washington Bridge. After a little while, Benny shouted,
Is that it?
He pointed to a long bridge. That's it, Mr. Alden said.
It's so beautiful,
Violet said.
So graceful,
Jessie added. They rode